Scorpio, this is all about you. In November 2021, there is a period of accelerated change, and we really need to understand the lessons learned so that we can be prepared and ready to receive. This is your November 2021 soul story. I'm Romy. Thank you so much for joining the channel. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, then this is a reading that may give you some resonance and clarity. We're going to break the energies down so that you can feel more empowered in terms of the best way to navigate through November. We're opening up your reading with the energy of the Eight of Wands. Something is taking off for you. All of the energy is now in a direct motion. We have come out of that retrograde season, and right at the beginning of the month, the 4th, we're going to welcome a new moon in your sign. It's opposite Uranus at 12 degrees, meaning that there is a restlessness here, something that you want to get moving on, that you want to get going on. And you know what? You're also going to have a breakthrough in relation to that. So keep an eye out on the energy in and around this time for you, okay? You're going to have the Sun, Mars, and Mercury from the 5th of the month in your sign, Scorpio. So this is going to give you extra power and ability to be able to harness and direct the energy in the right way. Now, we talk about this accelerated change. What does that mean? Things are really picking up a pace, and so you're going to have to think more decisively. You're going to have to be more adaptable, more flexible to the way that sort of things are starting to unfold and plans are opening up. There's a sense of transparency that's coming through this month, and a flurry of messages that I feel are going to start to emerge, especially at that beginning time in November. Why is that happening? Because so much was held back during retrograde for that quiet introspection and reflection. Now we're understanding a little bit more about ourselves as a result of that process, and we're all opening up. We're keen to share, we're keen to express, we're keen to reconnect. And so that new moon is going to be a really potent time for you to kind of put it out there, to express, put your ideas on the table, reconnect with the people that you want to. Now, the most important thing that I want you to really bear in mind throughout November, this is going to be one of the key themes for us, is clarity of energy investment. Where are you putting your energy, Scorpio? It really matters this month, because to reach new levels, we really have to be willing to commit to new things, and therefore there's an identification of exactly what is holding you back, what feels like a burden, what has weighed too heavy for too long. Now, you may not be able to extricate yourself from every single experience that you have going on in your life right now, but there's something about this energy of November that you definitely reach a breaking point. And there is this quality of just saying, like, enough is enough, because you know what, wherever you go, you face yourself. So, whatever it is that's kind of that thing that you're trying to suppress and push to the side and lock away in the box, like, the guides, the energy of November, it's moving so quickly. It wants you to receive. It wants you to receive more of the things that you want. But therefore, there's a requirement on your part as you allow this time of reinvention of your solar returns to really guide the way for you, that you do acknowledge where you've taken on too much, where the pressure is too great. And again, we have this aspect of transparency coming through. On the 5th of the month, Mercury is going to be moving into your sign, and it's going to make you question everything. What I really love is it brings with it a sense of fearlessness for you as well. And I think you need that. You need that edge. We're going to say, make sure you do your research, okay? There's going to be situations that come about, and perhaps there might be an impulsive aspect of you just wanting to kind of jump in or make a decision on that basis. And certainly the energy is very open. It's green lights. It's a fantastic time, especially right through to the mid part of November before Venus hits her retrograde shadow. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But we have a wonderful auspicious time for those launches, for inspired action, for putting new things into place. So Mercury in your sign is going to help you to solve the mysteries. It's going to help you to be a little bit suspicious in a positive, empowered way, to make sure that you're making choices and decisions that are right for you. I also feel like some of the information that's coming in from that Eight of Wands, things can turn, and they can turn very quickly. And we can feel like one minute we have a lot of space and we have the capacity and the capability to take on a little bit more. And then all of a sudden, we're not always in control of all of the moving parts around us. And so there may be some aspects of all of a sudden something unexpected coming in that, you have to commit or have a sense of responsibility or duty for. So just keep that in mind if you are saying yes to things. We're not saying to not do that. It is a great energy and a great month for you to be able to show up and kind of move in the direction of what really inspires you. But just be, aware, cognizant of the fact that that 10 of Wands is suggesting that there's probably going to be a little bit more coming your way than you had initially anticipated. So on the 5th, when Mercury moves into your sign, we also have Venus shifting gear. She's moving into the sign of Capricorn. Venus, of course, ruling our money and our love relationships, the way we invite beauty and harmony into our world. What does she want in the sign of Capricorn? Well, she has high expectations. Now, this is a real heads up because Venus is going to stay in Capricorn and then shift into a retrograde energy. So as I said, we'll be feeling the shadow of that from the 18th of this month. So then all the way through December, you're going to be dealing with a Venus retrograde, which is going to command you to go back and revisit things in your money story in terms of your relationships. Now you have Tower energy here. Let's remember what the Tower is really representative for you in your life. We have eclipse season coming and the portal is opening up on the Taurus and Scorpio axis. Okay, so this is going to be deeply personal for you. You're going to be working with themes, for this next year, 18 months that are really going to help you to release and let go of things that are no longer working for you. And the Tower comes in and says, okay, enough. This is the time where we have to completely reorientate you. We have to shift the very foundations beneath you. And actually, I think that can be quite helpful because sometimes with that 10 of Wands, even though we want to break free, we want to let go of something, a relationship, an energy of an experience, a job, just an emotional pattern that we just can't quite allow ourselves to be free from. We need a little bit of help to do that. Now, yes, one can say that when Tower energy comes in, it's not always the easiest to be able to deal with. It comes in a very chaotic, in a very sudden, in a very unexpected way. But hey, we're all used to what eclipse energies do for us, right? And we've already come through a tumultuous October. In fact, the entire year has not really allowed you to stop and catch your breath too much. Remember what I said, accelerated change is one of the main themes for November. So that isn't slowing down anytime soon. But you know what? Really beautiful things can come from chaos. If we think about the idea of alchemy, to get the gold, we really have to kind of allow our hands to get mucky in that very disruptive process, but it's almost always worth it. And so there's something about the epiphany and the breakthrough of that Tower. What does it deliver for you? A new level of contentment and ability to access a sense of emotional safety and the culmination of many things I think you've been waiting for. Now, here's the thing to keep in mind. We're going to be welcoming the 1111 portal in November. It's like a wake-up code. It's a powerful time for that ascension, the activation of new understanding, and a real balancing out of both your masculine and your feminine energy. What do I want to say to you about this date? It's really important, Scorpio, to be able to call your power back. Call your power back, because if you are really wanting to have that clarity of energy investment and you want to have these rainbow blessings, you want to, to start to experience things and be able to wave your own light through what feels like these darker, more difficult, challenging experiences, then you can absolutely do that. But right now, you're too scattergun. So what have you been focusing on? That's the 10 of Wands. Now you've got this beautiful energy of completion and culmination coming in, which is what we would expect during your solar returns. It's a time for you to kind of have that beautiful rebirth and transformational energy. The goddess energies are also working really strongly this month. Pallas Athena is moving direct in Pisces on the 8th of the month. She's been retrograde since the 14th of July. So You now have a new strategy. There's new patterns that you are instating about what's good for you, what you want to devote your energy to. On the 14th, we've also got Juno, the goddess of contracts, of marriages, of union, moving into Capricorn alongside Venus. So there's a real sense of commitment, wanting to go to the distance, wanting to ground something in. And then Vesta on the 16th, moving into the sign of Sagittarius, really helping you to embody your values and to walk your talk. There's nothing perfect in the process right now, Scorpio. So let's not focus on trying to make it so. Let's focus on the impact that it's making and what you've learned in the process. Your Six of Swords here is definitely indicating that you do need a plan. You need a sense of direction for yourself in November. Otherwise, you're set to feel like that pinball in the pinball machine that's getting pushed from pillar to post on someone else's agenda and someone else's timeline. You have the power and the insight and the wherewithal to be able to decide where you want to anchor in, where you want to place yourself, what the best environment is going to be for you to be able to sort of overcome and actually make progress in some of the things that are really important to you. Now, she's holding this heavy rain cloud with her, and there is this energy of imminent release. And of course, along with that Tower energy, it's expected that through the course of November, you're going to have to let something go. You're going to have to let it go. And maybe it's just an emotion that you've been holding on tightly to. Maybe it's something that really has served, to kind of take you as far as it can. So the decision, we want you to make it. If you don't, I have a sense, Scorpio, that it's going to be made for you. Okay. The lunar full moon eclipse, which is coming in your opposite sign of Taurus at 27 degrees, is coming into square Jupiter, but also to trine Pluto. Now, I want to take you back to 2012 through 2014. Think about the themes that were playing out in your life around that time, because there might be a little bit of an echo, not necessarily a repeat, because you've become a completely different person. There's a new version of self that's emerged as a result of that. But, there's a heartfelt understanding and a need for you to be honest and to be curious and to kind of really open up to the information and the wisdom that you have gained since that period of time. Now, that full moon eclipse in Taurus, of course, is the mirror energy for you. It's that 7th house. So what does it do? It reflects back some of those shadow aspects of the self, and it also highlights all things in connection to relationships. So there's a big emphasis around emotional intimacy, how that has impacted you through the course of the last few weeks, and where during this time of your energy and your reinvention, you can start to, like I said, call your power back, but also get really clear about your readiness to receive something more. What do I mean by your readiness to receive? It's about a preparation of your nervous system. Energy is changing, you're ascending, you're starting to understand things in new ways. That's only going to continue to increase. If you are constantly still engaged in what the external narrative is, what someone else's directive or outlook or perception of the world is going to be, you're going to be stuck in the middle of someone else's indecision constantly, and it's going to stop you from being able to access what is truly meant for you by way of beautiful divine wisdom. The lessons that you've learned have been yours. They're yours to personally understand. Now, this Page of Swords standing on all of these books, so, there's an understanding here that research is necessary. Equip yourself with the right information to put yourself in an elevated position to help your wishes and dreams and desires come through this month. If you know you're going to be walking into a situation, regardless of where that's personal or professional this month, Scorpio, what you're going to need to do is ensure that you've got your facts available. That's going to put you immediately ahead of, anybody else. But more than that, it's going to help to balance and settle your energy. In your readiness to receive, in your preparation of the nervous system, what we're saying is, are you actually set up to be able to receive some of the manifestations that you're asking for? With that new moon in your sign, opposing Uranus, the opportunity for really powerful breakthrough can happen exceptionally suddenly. Is your life geared up for the things that you say that you want? What do you need to do? in preparation for that? How would it change like your daily routine? How would it change the way you're connecting to people? How would it change the way that you're allowing your energy to open up? Your Seven of Swords, you're holding real tightly onto this egg. It wants to tell you that it's ready to be birthed, it's ready to hatch, and yet you're kind of like saying not yet, not yet, not yet. So where is this coming from? It's a little bit of a reminder about one's aspect of self-trust, and it's probably emerging from a result of the fact that you may have attempted this or come very close to something numerous times, and all of a sudden the universe is saying in November, okay, the time is now, we need to act now. And you're like, hey, hold up a minute, this is what you promised me before, or this is where I tripped myself up, or I trusted in this, I believed in this, my intuition called me to this exact point, and all of a sudden things crumbled again. And so we have to kind of be really aware of where that story is kind of perpetuating and stopping us in the moment where we're feeling that really powerful sense of moving with the accelerated change that is happening. Here's where your transparency means everything. Now, the flowers that kind of are coming from her tail here are really linking into those flowers in the Ten of Wands, because this is what it's a result of, where you feel the pressure, where you feel the stress, where you feel like life is just beating up on you too much. But here's the thing, let's bear in mind that the Wands energy, it's fire, right? It's about that initiation to achieve something, to go do something. So the Ten of Wands is saying it has been worth it, regardless of how you perceive what has unfolded as a result of actions that you've taken or situations and experiences you've been a part of. There's something about this month that's giving you that sense of, okay, I'm almost there. So I'm either going to be free of something, or I'm almost at the point where I'm going to be able to now release, wrap this up, move on to something bigger, something better. In fact, maybe not even bigger, maybe something a lot more streamlined, a lot more simplified, a lot more in alignment with how you're going to be able to find your balance and prepare that nervous system energy and readiness to receive things that really matter to you. So if you have been investing all your energy in a relationship, or it's all gone into work, and there are other things in your life that all of a sudden November is giving you that massive wake-up call. In fact, I would go as far as to say, the energy toward the end of October, I'm filming this still in October, but I would imagine that many of you have felt that powerful rising up, and even in the sense of it feeling a little bit like a spiritual slap that says, okay, enough. This is what you want, this is what you say you want, then now's the time to make the difference. Seven of Swords, of course, suggests that there's mistrust going on. Maybe there's even a little bit of guilt being held by you, or guilt attached to a specific situation. Yeah. Now, these two figures are also having their backs turned to the energy of the Seven here. So I have a sense that you also feel like perhaps somebody has turned their back on you, or you are feeling like you need to turn your back on someone else. Again, even the Six of Swords is in a different direction here in terms of the energy. We have very little, I want to say, like deep, intimate, one-to-one connection here, suggesting that the month of November, it's really personal for you, Scorpio. The things that you're going to be working on, to a certain degree, you may have to be doing them, not in a sense of isolation, but, doing the work on yourself before you then come to the table to start to engage and share that with others. Because what's going to happen is you will be made really aware of where your expectations and some of those relationship patterns, are going to be worked on. Because as Venus comes into Capricorn, and then we start to feel into her shadow toward the end of the month, plus that lunar full moon eclipse in Taurus, it's going to be some potent signs for you to say, okay, this is what I want to get to grips with. That's beautiful, because as a result of that, it's almost like your pilgrimage. It's like your beautiful soul journey. It's going to take you, and I mark my words, when you come out of November, it's going to feel like you just skipped 3, 4, 5, 6 levels. It's going to have that kind of an impact on you. what that leads to in terms of the powerful decisions you're going to have to make before the end of the year, well, you'll feel into that and you'll have some time to come to terms with it. That's why November is so important in terms of understanding where we need to invest our energy, having that clarity. The stars and the astrology energy is going to support that, so that you can be ready to receive and kind of still be able to emerge through some of that chaos that may be coming in. Your Hierophant here again, it's about this aspect of learning. You know, we've got the books showing up here again, but you become the teacher and the student. You know, we heal, then we teach. And there's something about being able to listen. Owl medicine coming in here really beautifully. Again, elevated at the top of this tree, elevated on top of the books here. So there's an elevated understanding. There's access to infinite wisdom and knowledge that you haven't been able to access up to this point before. But it requires a commitment from you. It requires of you to be able to hold your promise. Venus in Capricorn is really going to help you with that. You know, from your money story perspective as well, I also see new agreements being formed. But again, there seems to be this aspect of just uncertainty that's coming up around you. I'm uncertain if this is the right approach for me, if this is what's really good for me in this moment. Well, sometimes, Scorpio, we just have to do, you know, we just have to rush in and we just have to say, okay, I'm just going to take that risk. I'm going to give myself the gift of this experience. You know, like I said, there's open green light energy coming through. You have the 1111 portal, you have the new moon in your sign, you have Mars and Mercury working with you. One of the things that I'm going to say to you is you're going to be able to make things go a lot further this month. So in relation to what's happening from an abundance perspective, that's also going to work out favorably for you. Whatever you have, you'll make it go further, okay? And it's not just about money, it's about energy in general. So your ability to be able to work to conserve is going to be really important. And I think that's emerging because of what you're learning around this situation in connection to the 10 of Wands. The thing here is there's all these flowers that are still in bloom, and it's like you keep seeing them and you're like, oh, but I want to do this, or I want to do that, or I want to connect here. And it's like it comes to a point where it's like, okay, you have enough. You have all of this experience, all of these things, all of that energy. All you're doing is accumulating right now. Are you actually using it? Are you embodying it? You know, and again, this is maybe back to the learning aspect of things, you know. This is the month to really walk your talk. Your King of Pentacles coming in as an earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus or Virgo possibly. Again, elevated in position here. So for some of you, there's the real opportunity to be able to make some moves and kind of network and create and put yourself in a very strong light. Of course, your energy is going to be super magnetic this month with it being your solar returns. And when we come into Sagittarius season on the 21st, then again, it's in that second house of value, you know, so your value, your stock is rising. But what do we have to learn from the energy of the King of Pentacles? He's diligent, he's careful, he's considered, but he has a generosity and a warmth of spirit. But, you know, all of this energy around learning and being open to being wiser, to being more discerning is going to really be helpful for you. Now, the 24th, Mercury is going to move into Sagittarius. So we have much bigger horizons. We're ready to learn. And right toward the end of this month, we have a whole series of really beautiful aspects astrologically. So between the 27th and the 30th of the month, it's a warm, friendly, optimistic energy that says you can connect, you can feel in, and almost kind of have that bit of a slipstream energy. So even if you have some of that pressure building and some of the things that you're dealing with that eclipse energy fallout, you know, remember it can come in, you know, as early as 4 to 6 weeks before the actual event. And then obviously it will play out in weeks after, and you're going to be continuing to work on that axis. But as you are kind of emerging from that, there's something about the lessons learned here that are giving you a sense of utter knowing about, okay, this is what I need to do, and here's the plan, or here's the direction I feel I need to move in. You don't need to have all of the details, don't worry. The universe is going to fill in a lot of the kind of missing pieces for you there, and so many of the dots should have been connected for you through the month of October. You have a really beautiful situation that also arises for you where I feel like something to acknowledge in terms of a reward for you. You know, it's something that's hitting on that emotional happiness, you receiving that energy back. So it's a beautiful kind of karmic loop coming back in towards you, and it may feel very connected, very aligned with what's happening in a family energy. Okay, so soul family, blood family, but something coming in to give you that sense of safety, that sense of reassurance, that sense of feeling like, you know what, it's okay for you to go do your thing. It's okay for you to go focus over here. You're not going to lose. There's no loss here. There's definitely change. There's definitely powerful transformation. But what there is a sense of is you gaining wisdom, gaining insight, gaining clarity, gaining readiness, ready to be ready. This is where you need to be. And what we are releasing is that aspect of sabotage, self-destruction. And I do want to pinpoint this to you, because both Seven of Swords and the Tower energy are saying to me, don't go on that course where you're going to drive yourself into the wall this month, okay? There's going to be a temptation to do it at times, you know, probably because things feel so at times out of control, but actually they're really not. You know, you've got this beautiful grounded energy coming in, and perhaps this individual, if they're coming forward in that expression, or even as you tap into an aspect of what the King of Pentacles represents to you, it's a sense of emotional safety, of feeling safe and secure in your material world, in your environment. But it's also being able to bring that expertise and wisdom to bear, and, you know, making sure that you are cultivating and nourishing that as an expression of your highest energy to everybody around you as well. You know, being able to kind of see beyond perhaps the behaviors, the outbursts, what's coming at you, and actually kind of taking the high road, I feel is going to be really beneficial for you. A lot of communication coming your way this month. You're not going to be left in the dark. You are not going to be left in limbo. I don't see a lot of ghosting energy. What I've got here is just like, here's the information. We might not like all of it, but it's actually going to help to set you free in so many aspects. So let's take a look at the Oracle cards that want to join. This is Yasmin Moonology. It's her new deck, Moonology Manifestation. I always put the decks in the description box underneath if you're curious, by the way. Okay, let's have a look. Last quarter, Moon in Taurus. Be proud of yourself. Of course, we've got that full Moon in Taurus coming up, but being proud of yourself, what do you need to recognize about the accomplishments? Again, that 10 of Wands might say that you've been at it for so long that you forget. You forget to take time out to actually acknowledge and to kind of sit in the stillness and in the quiet and recognize, you know, how much further you're actually standing in terms of where you began this year. You know, we don't have long before we're going to be wrapping up 2021. There's a lot that's going to happen between now and the end of the year for you, but this is a really beautiful, auspicious month where you get to, you really get to kind of check in with yourself in that way. And again, that 1111 portal, it's such a beautiful time of activation. You know, we want you to kind of be very grounded and very present to be able to kind of welcome that energy in. What do you need to be proud of, Scorpio? Okay, these are the Starcodes Astro Oracle. Again, really beautiful new deck. Okay, square, semi-square, quincunx, tension. All right. Well, we already know that. We've got this tower energy. It's not a surprise. In fact, you know, who is not experiencing this sort of pressure in some form or another in their lives? So, you know, it's not why is this here? It's about what am I supposed to learn from it? How is it changing me? How is it redirecting me? What is it opening up within me? How is it revealing where I need to find my light in the darkness? Remember that feeling of the alchemy. To get the gold, we really have to work with the muck. We have to go into the dirt and we have to engage in those disruptive, difficult processes. But they are worth it. They bring us to a completely new level of understanding. And that's what you are, that's what you're entering into. We have another couple of cards here. Do you know what? I'm just going to pull them for you. Let's just do that, seeing as they're just sat there. Okay, dignified, strength, and Mercury messages. Okay. they kind of all make sense, don't they? Being proud of yourself, standing in your strength as you receive messages, as you receive information that do make you feel like you are under pressure. 10 of Wands, the Tower. But what comes from that, this beautiful 10 of Cups, the 6 of Swords, this movement away from a lot of the heaviness and the stress and the tension, okay? Remember what I said, wherever you go, you're going to face yourself. So now's the time to really embrace that truth. Okay. This is the Creativity Oracle. Okay, so they actually have like an affirmation on the back. Nature. Go out in nature as much as you can, for its pure creativity can teach you everything you need to know. I love that we have this full moon here. We also have the Horse, which kind of links in for me into Sagittarius season, because it's giving that sense of you'll find your freedom, you'll find that respite, you'll find brand new horizons coming in. We also have the Cat here, cat energy, about trusting one's instincts, trusting on an intuitive level. Sometimes they want to stay close to home, but there's also this sense of you kind of feeling pulled in terms of being around close to home and wanting to kind of move further afield and just kind of expand your horizons, and you will feel that push-pull tension. So the best way to dissipate it, to clear out, sort of moving through nature in that way, I think is going to be really supportive for you. So we're going to go ahead and just pull some clarifying cards now for the extended version of the reading. So just going to invite you to think about a question that might not have come up in the main spread of the reading here, and we'll be covering that off in the extended reading. Okay. Pull a couple of cards just now. Right, Scorpio. So I'm just going to go ahead and clarify this main reading now, just beginning with this 8 of Wands energy. Okay. 9 of Swords coming through here. And the Star. There's this constant sense of reassurance like coming through from the universe, even though you're feeling kind of the fear and the potential loss of something. I don't see it coming though. 7 of Swords again. There may be a little bit of duplicitous energy around you this month that you just need to be aware of. Queen of Pentacles. Earth energy coming up here again. Just holding the apple, almost in a sense of temptation there again, isn't there? 3 of Wands. Let's have a look at this Tower. Life renewed. Okay, this is Judgment. Waiting for an outcome, waiting for a decision. But look, we have 10 of Cups coming through again here. Reassurance energy. Truth really coming through here. King of Wands again, just bringing that sense of boldness, courage. 10 of Swords showing up, along with the Empress. You have some beautiful major arcana energies to be working with in this month of November, Scorpio. King of Swords coming in with that 7 of Swords. That feels to me like someone specific. Okay, the Blasted Beach is another Tower energy here. Rising above the challenges though. Okay, Scorpio, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much. If you would like to join me for the extended version, we're going to talk for another 20 minutes or so. We'll pull out some additional messages for you in terms of your November soul story. You can find the link in the description box underneath. It's a way to support my channel, and I really appreciate you. I'm just going to wish you beautiful blessings for your solar returns. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm going to speak to you again real soon. Lots of love. Bye for now.